YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Crypto J coming at you with another J Talks Crypto. Welcome to the channel. If it's your first time tapping in, hit the subscribe button, bell notification. I be doing this every day, but I gotta let you know that this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't buy anything that you see in this video. This video is just for education and entertainment purposes. So again, just treat it like that. It's just entertainment, guys. So you guys can see total market cap coming in at a 3.25, fear greed index coming in at a 48. Bitcoin starting to break down, which is exactly what I told you guys yesterday would probably be the case scenario, right? We were already breaking down under that 104.5. Bitcoin was already looking pretty sketchy and looking like it was breaking down. And now look at Bitcoin now coming in at 103.9. Are we seeing the market start to break down? Now we did have what looks to have been a fake, right? All the way up to 106, dropping back down, now creating again this shoulder, head, shoulder, and possibly going to break this neckline. I told you guys that if Bitcoin decides to break this neckline on this head and shoulders pattern, that we would probably see a big shift down. As you guys can see, we're pretty much hanging right on the support right now, and you could kind of see where we can close this gap kind of down here. Maybe we can catch some support down at 102. Let's see what's going on these indicators. As a matter of fact, I think the real level of support is down at 100K still. But as you guys can see, yeah, around 100K, right, is this bottom Keltner channel is a possibility that we could see a retest of that, because again, we had this rejection. This is what we talked about. I talked about this rejection that we had on this daily chart, talked about how important this day was, that we needed to reclaim this. And if we don't, then we could see more sell-off. The fact that this happened on a Thursday and we're seeing funky price action, I just felt like probably going to see some sell-off into the weekend. I still feel like that. I still feel like just too much going on right now. And the fact that they didn't lower the interest rate, the fact that, you know, there's so much unrest in the Middle East, I just feel like you know, it's just the market's going to be looking funky. Even looking back to the past month and couple months of good news not pumping the market, right? Even we had so much good news coming out that wasn't pumping the market, but now we actually don't have a lot of good news coming out. Actually, I can't even remember the last good headline that I've seen where I'm like, okay, this is good, solid. I guess the Genius bill or whatever, the stablecoin bill. But honestly, I'm not super bullish on that stablecoin bill, to be honest with you guys. So I don't really see that as like super bullish. But at the same time, it was pro crypto. So I guess a lot of people were expecting some type of volume to come from that. It didn't come from that. I mean, look at this thing. It created another rising wedge, right? Even on the hourly chart, it had a rejection of this top range. And now look, it's creating a bear flag here. Unless this thing has a sharp retrace and really breaks back up, it needs to have a solid close today. I don't see that. I don't see that happening, though, to be honest with you. I mean, again, these guys want to fake you out. They don't want you to make money. They don't want you to easily be able to short the market and make money or anything like that. And I'm not telling you to go out and short the market. As a matter of fact, I am somebody who believes that time in the market beats timing the market. So a lot of these guys that are shorting the market, gambling, trying to make money really quick, they're getting wrecked right now. That's basically what's happening and what's been happening for really the past month, right? If you look at this monthly chart here, it's just been a lot of liquidations, like shorts, longs, everybody wrong, right? Everybody trying to bet on the bottom, trying to make some quick scalping money and stuff like that. And these guys are not going to make it easy to make that money. They're going to, you know, dump it down. They're going to pump it up. I mean, so many times we've created indicators that have looked like we're going to see a breakout, or that look like we're going to break down, and then they break up, right? Like if you look right here, we create a rising wedge, bearish pattern, right? We started breaking down. We create the sideways action, which I tell you guys is not good, right? We create shoulder, head, shoulder, started dropping down. Again, create another shoulder, head, shoulder here, another bearish pattern. We drop down, create that bear flag, right? That drops down. Created another rising wedge here. That drops down. And then look at this, right? We find a bottom down here at 100K, which I said a retest of 100K would probably be necessary. That happened. Then we jump up here. We create another rising wedge. Again, this is a bearish pattern, but look what happened here, right? This was a fake. This was a trap. So it shot up after that, and then boom, rejection again. Shoulder, head, shoulder, drops down. you know, it's just been that kind of a month. But again, this sideways motion right here, especially after this fake out, I do think that there's probably going to be a breakdown even further in the market. We need to stay above 104.5 if we do not want to see a breakdown in the market, because we're sitting right on the neckline right now. Like literally, you see how this shoulder, how it really has a big sell off once it kind of breaks down below this neck, what I call the neckline, right? It breaks down like a lot after that, right? After it like loses its support down here, it sees a big sell off. You see what I mean? And then we got a shoulder here. If it loses this bottom level of support, it could have a big sell off. Even, you know, we could see a pretty decent size retrace again. In my opinion, this thing can go back to 100K, create a wedge, and then, you know, maybe it might want to start taking off. I don't think that it's the top of the cycle. I don't think that this is the end of the Bitcoin cycle and altcoins and stuff like that. But I do think that there's going to be a ton of volatility in this range, especially again with all the things that are going on. I just feel like it's going to be a wild ride. So if this is your first time in crypto, welcome. Welcome. You'll gain some gray hair. You might lose some hair. You know, it's just the way it is. If you're sitting over the charts all day, then you're going to be emotional. And if you're over leveraged, you're going to be emotional. But I mean, I look at the charts every day because that's just what I got to do, right? I got to do that for you guys. But normally I really, you know, I'm not over leveraged in the market. I don't have so much money in the market that I'm like, gotta freak out about it. So I'm less emotional, and I'm just kind of looking more for times to dollar cost average, just really using this time to work super hard and make as much money to be able to accumulate as possible. As you guys could see, Toshi coin, we talk about some Toshi, right? We're going to talk about some Toshi because you guys want to see some Toshi. We're still waiting on Dex Screener to load up. I don't know, this stupid see if you're a robot thing has been making it slow for me. But as you guys could see, Toshi looking pretty solid, right? Still holding up trend on the yearly, up 75%. Looking pretty volatile today with the rest of the market. Again, seeing some sell-off. Bitcoin had a fake out this morning, and so did Toshi, as you guys could see. It was looking like it wanted to make a comeback. Had a fake out with Bitcoin. Again, the market is going to follow big Bitcoin because Bitcoin is the confidence in the market. So you could see our market cap just totally fell off a cliff right now as Bitcoin just dropped under 104. We got to catch some support here. Otherwise, again, we can really what we have to pay attention to if we start, you know, breaking down too far, which I don't think we will. There's a chance we will, but I don't think we will. But there is a chance that we could see some kind of, you know, black swan event, or falling knife, whatever you want to call it, right? Where we see this big sell off, this double top right here that we saw back here. We could still see that happen here. That's kind of the fear, I guess, that the biggest fear that's in this chart is this double top right here happening again right here. But again, our logarithmic just shows us that we have not had a blow off top yet. Like every cycle kind of has this big blow off top. You know, this just seems more like Trump's last cycle, where we just kind of trend up, have a blow off top, same thing, trend up, blow off top. So still long on the space. I'm still long on the cycle. I don't think it's over. You can see this guy here too talking about just like that. It's kind of like this zone looking like this past zone right here, right? So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see kind of what happens in the next coming months. Some people thinking, you know, Bitcoin going down to 80 to 90K. Y'all just got rug. Love it. What? So funny. It's a rug pull, right? Look. Like this thing down here. It's a rug pull. Oh, wow. Bitcoin is going to be the future. It's a rug pull. That thing is a rug pull, dude. I didn't even like it. Oh, wow. Bitcoin's pretty cool. Oh, yeah. It's a rug pull. Oh, it's a rug pull. Rug pull. I don't like it. It's a rug pull. Oh, yeah. I like Bitcoin. I knew it the whole time. Oh, man. I knew that was a scam. It was a rug pull the whole time. Oh, wow. Bitcoin is the future, man. I believed in Bitcoin the whole time. Man, I don't know about Bitcoin. Oh, dude, I believed in it the whole time. Oh, man. It was a rug pull. Rug pull, rug pull, rug pull. Oh, dude, I think Bitcoin's a thing. And then now here we are, 100K. Guys, 2023, we were at 15K. And that was the beginning of this bull run. So if you still think that Bitcoin is a rug pull, then just get out. Get out. Because you don't see the value in the space. You don't understand what we see in Bitcoin. And if you don't believe in the space and you're just looking to get rich quick, then this is not a space for you. It's just not for you. I don't know. Well, I mean, we get a lot of people in the space that come in every cycle, right? New people every cycle, people hearing about other people getting rich, and they just think that this is something that they can throw $20 in and they could turn it into $3,000, which actually can happen. But at the same time, you got to understand that there's risks involved in this market, and this market is very volatile, and it is going to have times like now, right? Like Bitcoin coming in right now at 104 and looking like it can do anything. Heavily manipulated on the month right now. Like, welcome to the crypto market, buddy. It's very unpredictable, and that's what I always tell you guys. This market is unpredictable. We don't know what can happen. I try to give you guys both cases scenarios so that you can make your own decision and do whatever you want after a result of your research, right? But again, I never tell you guys definitively, like, I know what's going to happen. And I don't think that people should do that because nobody knows what's going to happen. Nobody could predict the market, right? We could just use indicators. And that's all that I do. I just share with you guys the indicators that I use, my points of view. You know, go out and you take other people's points of view, form your own point of view, or just have your own point of view. You know, it's okay. Sometimes people disagree with the things that I'm saying and the analysis that I'm giving. And I'm all for that. I'm all for even hearing another point of view. I'm all for that. I'm not for dishonesty when people are like, oh, this coin is gonna 1000x in the next 12 hours or 72 hours from now. You have 72 hours to get it. That kind of stuff is just like, why? Like, that's so, because of Bitcoin, because of the way that the market moves, that's so crazy to say things like that and irresponsible, really, because you don't know what the future holds. We're all paying attention, and I want you guys to pay attention to all these indicators and to know just what's happening on the screen, right? Know what the dangers are, know what is going also that's good for us, so that you could, again, make an educated decision. In my opinion, that's the fairest thing you can do. And so that's why I try to do that. I do it so that you guys can get a hang of reading these charts, because there's going to be many times, guys, where the chart's going to look like it can go either way. And it could either be a perfect zone of accumulation, or it could be an indicator that the market's going to head down to another lower level. That might be another level of accumulation if you're looking to accumulate things like Bitcoin and things like that. But a lot of big institutions are using those lower ranges as zones of accumulation, and they're open about it. They're tweeting about it. They're talking about it. Big companies, Michael Saylor talking about buying it. You know, and we're even watching people's wallets and stuff like that. These large institutions that are buying Bitcoin, we know their wallets now, so we know when they're making buy orders and stuff like that. You could track all this stuff. You know, it's not, everything is transparent on the blockchain. So again, I'm still bullish on Bitcoin. I think smart money is still long on it. I think a lot of retail's unsure on it, but I think that, again, we haven't had a blow off top of our cycle, so I'm patient. Somebody asked me just yesterday, you know, what I think about the market. And again, I'm not a financial advisor, so what I think about the market is irrelevant, because I can't, like, I'm not a professional or any capacity. But I do think that the market just needs to see a little bit of a correction before it goes on to new higher heights. Again, I don't think it's the end of the cycle, but I do think that a retest is necessary, which is healthy, right? We need to create new levels of support. It's healthy, right? Support is necessary so we could bounce off of it later, right? People don't like when we're lowering down and stuff like that, but it's critical that we create new levels of support, right? It's giving the market more confidence. Like, I feel like we have certain levels of support now that are a psychological level where people are like, okay, if it goes down to this, I'm going to buy it. Like, a lot of people, there's a lot of longs at 100K. I know that there's a lot of longs in that. in that 100K range. There's a lot of longs at the 90K and 80K range too, which is something that we're going to be talking about if Bitcoin does want to retrace to 100, because there is a decent chance that Bitcoin will want to lower down. And if that was the case, if that does want to happen, but at the same time, we have to kind of, I like to see how the volume moves and then I'll make a decision kind of thing. So again, if we break this neckline, it's going to send down, right? And then if you're looking at here, right, we could drop all the way down again to the 100K range. And then underneath that range, they're just, you know, underneath this 100K range, where's the next level of support would be like way down here at like 98, around like 98. And then if that doesn't hold again, we're going to be talking about some lower levels here, right? Even possibly a retest of this range here, which would be 75, which would be pretty significant sell-off. But again, we see these types of sell-offs happen. I'm very interested to see if what we're going to head into, and again, I'm just thinking out loud, and I'm just seeing this chart for the first time today, but I've been using this fear greed index. I've been paying attention to it. Again, every time we create this little bunny ears here, you see how we have a sell-off, and a lot of the times we'll see a sell-off all the way from the yellow all the way in, even into the orange, right? It happens more times than not, right? This is all we can do with indicators. We just look at things that happen more times than not. Same thing, these little bunny ears, this thing right here, same thing. And that's what I was saying when we formed it right here. I was saying we might see a correction in the market because, one, you know, we had this big parabolic rate of growth. And you guys could see every time we get into this heavy greed zone, it's kind of like been a zone of kind of the top, right? Of this, at least of the pump until the correction needs to happen. And again, last time we saw this correction happen, it happened in like April, and then it went all the way into like August, right? And then again, we see this correction really start to happen. This time it happened in like, it happened in December. And so my prediction was kind of like January. Or not January, I'm sorry. My prediction was July, right? My prediction has always been July, but honestly now I'm thinking like maybe that might even have to be postponed. Might have to push that back because again, in this situation, right? What if it's similar to something like this, right? Where we just start dropping down and then have shoot back up and then drop, you know, with all the war and all the, this is all fear, right? So it would stand to reason that we might see some fear right here. I was even saying at this time, I was like, the market's too greedy. I kind of don't like this right now. We're having a big run up too fast. It was too fast. If we want to have a good, strong, healthy cycle, we want to see, like, honestly, some of this. This is part of a cycle. It's part of a healthy cycle. So again, it's not an indicator that it's the top, because again, some of them are more logarithm, some of our more macro time intervals are showing us that we have not seen a top yet. It's always speculative though, but again, if this was a top, if we already seen a top, it was the most anticlimactic cycle I've ever been a part of. And I've been doing this Bitcoin stuff since this stuff has been around. So, and I've been on YouTube since this stuff was at 3,000. We've been covering this type of stuff, same type of way. So again, these cycles are not my first rodeo. At the same time, they are always unpredictable, right? The market's unpredictable. So, again, just using indicators, but those are the things that I'm paying attention to that I wanted to bring to your guys' attention. Just do this stuff to, again, keep things on your guys' radar, what I'm looking at. Maybe you might see different things. Maybe you might use different indicators. And I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people just kind of watch me that trade. Because honestly, I feel like people that watch me, a lot of you guys already know how to trade. And you guys are actually really good traders. I have a lot of really good traders that watch my channel. But I feel like you guys just kind of watch me just to get my point of view, which I respect that because I do the same thing with other traders. I'm like, okay, well, what do you see that maybe I don't see? But I have a pretty good eye for these charts. And I mean, we're all looking for the same type of patterns and the same type of indicators, you know, like this bear flag right here forming on Ethereum. You can see how it formed right here, how it formed right here. This thing is looking like it might want to send down too with the market. But yeah, it's just all looking for indicators. Anyway, guys, I digress. This video is getting long. I will cut it here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.